All right, we are back here today. Third out of the five position ranking lists here for the 2025-2026 season. Small forwards is today. We did shooting guards the last time. We did point guards 2 weeks ago. I think that this small forward list is going to be a lot more like the shooting guard list than the point guard list, where we have a lot of like younger guys that are entering into potentially stardom, guys who are projected to make, bigger leaps. And we have a lot of older guys in this tier who could, fall out or maybe fall to the bottom of our top tens. I'm really interested to see what directions Jacob takes it here today. I'm really excited to compare our lists this time around. This is going to be an interesting list because unlike the first two, though, anybody could be number one. Anybody could be
Yeah,
number one here. I feel like for the point guards and the shooting guards, we had like, Shea and Luca for our top two for point guards. And then last week we had, Anthony Edwards and Donovan Mitchell at the top of the shooting guards list. And those are like non-negotiables. Like you had to have those guys at the top. But this week, I feel like it could be anybody. Wouldn't you say so, Jacob?
yeah. I think there's three, four players for a case at one. It
I
feels
would say
like
so.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this list was definitely fun making. A lot of new names on it. I'm sure it is for you too, but both of us have a couple new names on it. I'm sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. And a couple of these guys are playing right now in Eurobasket. So I wondered if that like influenced any of your decisions. 'Cause I know you've texted me a little bit about some of these guys who are playing in Eurobasket. Is that influencing any of your decisions?
It hadn't. I've watched a little bit of it, but no, it didn't. It didn't this time.
Yeah. Shout out to Laurie Markkinen, by the way. He's not on this list, but he is absolutely hooping at Eurobasket. I know Luka Doncic had the first ever Eurobasket triple double yesterday as well. So shout out to some good hoops being played overseas right now. Um, but yeah, outside of that, we've got this list here today. We've got our 10, we've got our honorable mentions like we usually do. And we're going to go ahead and kick this thing right off. Jacob, you want to go first? Or you want me to give my honorable mentions first today? I usually let you go first.
I can get mine real quick.
Okay.
My honorable mentions. I have Cooper Flag and Herb Jones.
Interesting.
Cooper Flag was mainly we just haven't seen it yet. Like we know he could very well be on this list, pretty high on this list, being the number one pick, generational pick. Just we haven't seen it yet, so it's kind of hard just to go ahead and put him in the top 10. But definitely will be on this list next year. Really, probably a month or two in, will be on this list. So, and Herb Jones, we kind of know what he is, one of the better 3-and-D guys. It was kind of hard, kind of figuring out where to put Herb. I almost had him on the list, but I could have actually at 10. But yeah, those two guys are barely the ones that barely missed it.
Yeah, talking about Herb Jones. Herb Jones was weird for me. I ended up not including him at all as an honorable
Mm-hmm.
mention, just because he missed a significant portion of last season. But we know when he's at his best, he's all defensive team guy. He's a guy who's worked his way into like a 40% three-point shooter, a guy who can average about 10 to 12 points, who can play make a little bit. So he's got multiple elements to his game. But yeah, I left him off just because of the lack of games played last year. And it feels like he's kind of been overtaken on that Pelicans wing by Trey Murphy pretty significantly at this point. So I don't know like what
Mm-hmm.
Herb Jones's role is like in the starting lineup. I know like he'll have his defensive role as like their primary point of attack defender. Like that's carved out in stone. But offensively, I,
Right.
I I don't know. I don't know. And I feel like that's what the biggest drawback was for me. But we know at his best, he's a great defender. Uh, I also had Cooper Flag as one of my honorable mentions. Like you said, he could very easily in the first like 20 games of the season come out and be like 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists,
Yeah.
and very clearly be a top 10 small forward in this league just right off the rip. But we don't know. We don't know yet what he'll look like, especially on a Mavericks team with Kyrie injured, um, with him playing a position that he did not play in college. He played a lot of four in college and played some five as well on that Duke team. So him being a three alongside Anthony Davis and Daniel Gafford or Derek Lively in Dallas, I think will be really interesting to see like
Yeah.
where he gets his shots from, where he operates from. I feel like a lot of it will be from the perimeter, and we'll see how kind of how that goes. I think a lot is yet to be determined, but at this time next year, you got to think Cooper Flag's going to be top 10 on this list pretty easily.
Yeah. Easily.
Yeah, and my other guy. is RJ Barrett. I have RJ Barrett here as my other honorable mention. He was 21 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists last year for not great Toronto Raptors team, but he was the most consistent player on that team outside of Scotty Barnes. He has worked his way into a pretty solid offensive player, a good three-level scorer at this point. You know, RJ Barrett's going to get his numbers at this point of his career. It's just
Yeah.
maybe I don't know like what's next for him. He's an okay defender. He's not great, but I don't know like what's next for RJ Barrett at this point, and I don't know like where the next jump comes from. I couldn't see like a clear next jump, whether that be like a scoring jump of any kind or a defensive leap. I just it's unclear to me. It's fuzzy right now. So RJ Barrett's just barely going to miss this list. I had him at number 10 on my shooting guards last year.
Yeah.
He was technically a shooting guard last year. This past year he was a small forward. So yeah, I've got RJ Barrett here, just missing the list for me.
Yeah, him, RJ. I also thought about Keegan Murray too, but he had a really down year last year.
Keegan Murray
So
was
I,
rough. Yeah,
so
Keegan
I
Murray.
couldn't. I've liked Keegan Murray. I couldn't do it last or for this one. I couldn't do it. He just had a rough year.
Yeah, he had a down shooting year, and on a
Yeah.
Kings team where he's like the fourth offensive option, he's technically like him and Keon Ellis are the primary like point of attack defenders on that team.
Yeah.
But Keon Ellis is a significantly better defender than Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray's solid, but I don't know. Like Keegan Murray, a couple of years ago, he looked like he was on track to be like a really, really good player.
Yeah.
And last year was rough. It kind of like knocked him down a couple notches for what I thought that he was, quite honestly.
Yeah. And that whole Sacramento situation kind of fell apart. So I don't blame him for it. It was just they also, like you said, try to force him to be that primary defender besides Keon Ellis. But
Yeah,
hoping he bounces back this year. But we'll
me
have to
too.
see.
Me too, for sure. Number 10, who you got?
That's why I have Cam Johnson.
Ooh, interesting.
Kind of know what he is. One of the better shooters. Been on the trade block for a while. Finally got traded this year or this off season to Denver for MPJ and a first.
Right.
Um, he averaged 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and shot almost 40% from on 3.7 3-point attempts. So you kind of know what he is. I think we both had Michael Porter Jr. on the list last year,
Yeah.
but this year he's kind of showing he's a better Michael Porter Jr., a smarter Michael Porter Jr., if that makes sense. Well, he won't shoot everything that, he'll swing the rock. He's not like a black hole on offense. Makes the good plays, smart plays, and a little older, but you kind of know what he's getting from. You know what you're getting from Cam Johnson. A good shooter, decent rebounder, and a solid defender that can really help Denver get back to where they were this past few years.
Yeah. No, I like the addition of Cam Johnson because I did not have him. I didn't have him in my
Really?
top 10. I didn't have him as an honorable mention. I didn't know if you would or not. The only reason why I really didn't is just because I don't know like what his role will be on that
Roby, yeah.
team. Like I feel like he's like the fifth most important, like he's the least important player in that starting lineup, quite honestly. Which
Yeah,
is great for Denver that he's their least
right.
important
Yeah.
player in that starting lineup because he's a
See,
really good player. But
yeah, I just think he'll take that role of Michael Porter Jr. Just you need a shot, it's going to him. But it won't be the take every shot you get type of shot either.
yeah.
I wonder who you had on the list instead of him because there's a few guys I could have. It was just kind of I was back and forth on a lot of these players.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out here in a minute.
Oh yeah,
My number 10 though, and I'm almost positive you'll have this guy in your top 10. This is where I have Mikal Bridges. I have Mikal Bridges
really.
yeah, seemingly pretty low.
He did have a weird year last year.
He really did. He was 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 50% from the field, 35 from three. That's solid, that's not bad, especially on a Knicks team where you have uh Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby and Deuce McBride and Josh Hart, a bunch of guys who can really get their own and score and do so many other things. Mikal Bridges it's definitely not true to say he's like lost in the fold on that team, but
Yeah.
his role like changes on a night to night basis. And we
Mm.
knew Mikal Bridges a couple of years ago in Phoenix as like this really locked down defender. He was a runner up in Defensive Player of the Year, I think in like 2022, I think it was behind Marcus
20,
Smart.
yeah, 21 and 22.
Yeah. Last year, he was not a very good defender. he was not a very good on-ball defender. OG Anunoby very strongly ran away with the lead point of attack defender role on that Knicks team. And Mikal Bridges, yeah, his advanced defensive numbers are all down. His like counting stats, his stocks are down. It's kind of been a weird occurrence to see, and I think part of it is due to a more increased offensive role here in the last few years. I think that is part of it, but also it's just kind of weird to me still because he has like this crazy length as a wing. He has great lateral quickness. He's really agile. He can guard so many positions. But yeah,
Yeah,
he was just not as effective, nearly as effective as he has been in previous years. The big thing with Mikal Bridges, though, is that he plays every game, and he did so once again last year, played 82
yeah,
games like he always does. It's pretty incredible at this point. I don't feel like we may never see him miss a game. So that's part of the reason why he's still on the list for me. But I still like him a lot. But yeah, a very weird year last year for Mikal Bridges.
yeah. I guess it does take kind of the attention off of it that OG is the primary defender now. So
Yeah.
you don't see him in that role as much. He still can get you a bucket whenever. He's my number 9, by the way.
Okay.
Uh, so I've kind of fallen off on him. I know we both had him pretty high last year. I think 6, 7, 8
I had
range,
him at
something
number
like that.
8 last year, I think.
I think I had him at 6 last year. But like you said, it just might just be the role he's in now. It's kind of diminished on not what he can do, but what he has to do
Yeah,
versus
that's
when
a
he
good way
was
to
in
put it.
Brooklyn and Phoenix. So yeah, it was just kind of tough with him, especially with these other guys above him seeming like they'll have a bigger role. I know we'll probably have another guy close right after him, but yeah, it's just the opportunity for him has kind of fallen off since in New York, which is not for them, like you said with Cam Johnson. It's not a bad thing for
Exactly.
New York. It's just for him, it's just kind of weird situation.
Yeah. And he made some really big plays in the playoffs. Like he had those steals against the Celtics. He had some big shots down the stretch, specifically in that series against the Celtics that the Knicks won. So he was like a good player for them on the floor in the playoffs a lot of nights. So I got to give him credit for that as well.
Yeah,
Uh, my number 9, and this may be the guy you don't have. I'm really interested to see though. I have Jaden McDaniels here at number 9. Do you have Jaden?
I have him higher.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I've got Jaden McDaniels here. I thought you might not just because the counting stats don't flash. He averaged 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists last year offensively. His
Yeah,
offensive numbers are not going to flash because, like a lot of these guys that we've mentioned so far, he's one of the lower offensive options in the starting lineup behind Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle.
yeah,
Yeah, but he showed the ability last year that he can put the ball on the floor and create his own shot, which is something that he hasn't really shown yet, which I thought was really cool. And you talk about playoff risers. Jaden McDaniels is a playoff riser. Last year he averaged like 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists in the playoffs, but it was his shooting efficiency. He shot 53% from the field and
yeah,
43% from three. And in his career, he's a 42.5% shooter from three in the playoffs, which just shows that he rises to the occasion offensively, where a lot of these nights, so much emphasis is on Anthony Edwards. And Jaden McDaniels has shown that he can give you 20, 25 points on a whim, which is super valuable for that Timberwolves team that he's been able to come along offensively. And we know like what he provides defensively too. He's going to be like an all defensive team level defender. Although he didn't make it last year, he was like right outside of it. He's going to
yeah.
take the best player on the opposing team. He's going to guard them. He's going to do a very good job of it. And yeah, I just think he's a super valuable player to have on your team, especially on a winning team. I think the same
Mhm.
can be said of Mikal Bridges too. I think are very similar in a lot of ways at this point of their careers. The only reason I put Jaden McDaniels higher at this point is because I think he's a significantly better defender now.
Yeah, me having him higher, a lot of it is his defense, which I know he's always been this good, but we didn't have him there last year. But the like you said, the offensive leap, which I don't want to call it a leap, but his ability to create his own shot, like you said, that's the kind of reason I had him higher. And with Nickeil Alexander-Walker not being in Minnesota, I think Jay McDaniels could take another step in that.
Yeah.
I know Ant and Julius Randle have the ball a lot, but if he can keep shooting threes, he shot what? How many did he shoot last year?
I don't have the attempts, but if I had to guess, I
I
would
think
say
it
he
was
probably took like 4 or 5.
4. Yeah, I think it's 4. I think I mixed some stats up, but I think he shot 4. If he can get that to 6 or 7, and make maybe one of them an extra one, that'd really help their offense. It doesn't seem like a lot, but him being a threat like that,
Yeah.
giving Anthony Edwards some more space, giving Julius Randle more space, he can definitely have. Like I said, I have him higher. I won't say why I have him yet, but his two-way ability is really the reason I kind of propelled him up on my list.
Yeah. Perfect guy to have on a winning team.
Yeah. Let me give my number 8.
Yeah, go ahead here.
Yeah. This is why I have Denny Avdia,
Mm.
your guy. I wonder how high you have him. I'm assuming he's on here.
He is, yeah.
Yeah. Let you give the spiel on him when you get to him. But he averaged 17 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, almost 50% from the field on 12 attempts, and 36% from 3 on 5 threes. Really, with him, that's why I kind of text you last night or yesterday about the defense on him.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to just pick and choose who I wanted to kind of project to be better. And he was a lot better last year, which he was always a good role player in Washington. But him getting out of that, bad situation at the time to Portland, where he has more opportunity, and I guess a team that is wanting to compete, or at least compete more than Washington,
Washington, yeah.
So he really surprised. I'm pretty sure he surprised both of us last year on how good he played. I think he was in the MIP talk.
Yeah, he ended up top 10, I know.
Okay, yeah. I know he didn't win it, but he ended up in the MIP talk. He looked really good, played 72 games. And he, I think, like you said before, him and Tamar is kind of two building blocks Portland has that are really, really good. And I know have you and other Portland fans kind of high hopes for these next few years if you can figure out what Shaden and what Scoot are. So
Yeah, without a doubt, Denny was the most consistent player on the Trailblazers last year. Without
yeah.
a doubt. Yeah, I do have him a little higher, so I will save my spiel, like you said, for whenever I do talk about Denny. Number 8, this might be the guy. This might be the guy you don't have. I have Brandon Miller at number 8.
Okay, yeah, I don't have him.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. He could have been my honorable mention. I forgot all about him, but he played. How many games did he play last year?
He played 27 games.
Okay, that might have been why I kind of breezed through it. Definitely could have been higher on my list. I'll admit.
I'm surprised he's not even an honorable mention. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, I really forgot about him. I'd take Herb off and move him there, but definitely could be 10. I don't know why I missed him. I just kind of glossed over the fact that he didn't play that many games, but
probably forgot about him, quite honestly.
Yeah, I did. That's a big miss on me. Horrible situation is in, but yeah, that's a big miss on me.
Yeah. Brandon Miller, though, last year in the 27 games he played, he was 21 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists in his technical second year in the league. Only 40% from the field, which is extremely low. Shot 36% from 3, which is not that bad. But Brandon Miller, and like you said, a pretty bad situation, is going to be a high volume shooter with not much other offensive weaponry to go around. A lot of defensive attention is going to be on him once again this upcoming season in Charlotte. But I do think that Brandon Miller's got a really significant scoring jump coming. And when I say significant, I think that he jumps up to about 24, 25 points this upcoming season. And I think that he's shown already that he can be a solid playmaker. But I think he's going to really start to come into his own a little bit here in his third season and his second full season in the league. It's a shame that he didn't get to have like a real long season last year because I do think that he showed a lot of like finishing tools that he'd been working on. He had some really highlight finishes early in the season. I thought that he ran the floor pretty well. But yeah, Brandon Miller, he's kind of a weird guy to still project like his ceiling. He's the number 2 pick in that draft, of course, but I think that he could really be anywhere between like a 28 point per game scorer, like an all-star, all NBA level player in this league, to just a cool guy at like 23, 24 points. I think that he very much sits in between like the his idol Paul George and like a Zach LaVine. I think that that's the Brandon Miller spectrum, and he is currently in the middle of that, maybe towards the back end because he's not scoring that many points yet in his career. But I think that that's where he will end up. But I do wish that he was in a little bit of a better situation because I think with more winning DNA around him, I think that he could thrive a lot more. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see here in his third year. I think he has the opportunity to be an all-star just because the
Mm.
Eastern Conference is so weak. I don't if I had to bet on it, I would probably say no, just because I don't think the Hornets will be even a play-in team still next year.
Yeah.
But I do think Brandon Miller is going to have a better statistical season, and I think he will be very fun to watch.
Yeah. I definitely regret not having him on here. I did. I kind of forgot about him. You sent the list, and he's like at the very top. So I think I kind of just, yeah.
Oh,
27
I could
games.
also see though. I could also see him like not being on the list still. I think there are still a lot of questions to be asked about Brandon Miller.
I think he'll be fine. Like I know we've said it for a while, but Charlotte could turn it around eventually. I don't know how close that'll be. But I could definitely see him being high on the list like you had him, or off the list. But I think this year more likely to be in that conversation for top 10 small forward and all star, really in the East with all these guys being hurt. And but like you said, if Charlotte is around to play in team all star game, I think he can get it
Yeah,
if they are that good.
I agree. I agree with you. Number seven.
This is why I have Jaden McDaniels.
Okay.
You gave a lot on him. One of the best two-way players in the league. Well, more defensive player in the league. One of the best perimeter defenders in the league. But his offense still take that jump. Know what he brings. You gave a lot on him. Kind of projecting him to be a lot better this year.
Yeah. No, Jaden McDaniels, we said everything there is to say. He is just like the perfect player to have on a winning team. Isn't gonna like play above his role if you ask him to do something for his role though that is maybe a little foreign. He's shown that he can do that. He can add to his game, and I think that he's a really well-rounded player at this point. My number seven though, um, I really hope you're still here for this because this is a guy that I am a little lower on this year. He's a little older, and he is one of your favorite players. Number seven, this is where I have Jimmy Butler this year. Yeah. First full year with the Golden State Warriors. Last year he was 17 and a half points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 50 from the field, 28% from three. Biggest question for me is just like what's left at this point. I think that
Yeah.
they by acquiring him, the Warriors are going all in on one last title push for the Steph Curry led team. But yeah, we saw Jimmy Butler even with the Heat last year. He was not the number one option. Tyler Hero overtook him as the number one option on that team last year.
Yeah.
I do think Jimmy Butler still has a lot of value left, though. He showed in the playoffs that he still has good basketball left in him. He was really good in the play-in game against Memphis. He showed some really good stuff in that first round against the Rockets. But yeah, I just think he doesn't show it consistently enough, especially not in the regular season. He has missed a lot of
Mm.
time lately in the regular season. I couldn't put him any higher than seven. We know at his like peak that he is capable of being top three on this list, and I'm sure that
Yeah.
he will probably be close to there for you at least this year. He was your number one
One.
last year, yeah,
Yep.
which is still crazy to think about, but
This will probably be the last year he's on the list. More than
maybe,
likely.
maybe so,
More than likely.
which is weird to say, but yeah, I think you're right.
Um, I hate to say it, he is my favorite player. I do have him high on the list, but I think this will be the last list. The age is getting up there. He, like you said, the regular season he kind of just cruises, which he always has,
Yeah,
and him being the second option behind Steph, sometimes maybe even the third, just kind of depends on what they do. I think this is like was their kind of last push move, and I don't blame him for it. He is a
oh,
great two-way player, especially clutch. He's still clutch. Um, the guy he can take the weight off of Steph's shoulders. So, but yeah, I think this is the last year. I almost moved him down, but I kind of gave him the benefit, just kind of one more year.
yeah. I just think that the guys that I have above him will be consistently better than him this year.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
take Jimmy Butler in like a playoff series over the next guy on the list
mm,
and maybe like one other guy that I have a little higher. So
yeah,
ceiling wise, Jimmy Butler I think still has a lot that he can provide, but on a consistent basis, I don't think he's better than the six guys that have above him.
yeah. Consistency wise, yeah, I agree. But benefit of the doubt, just one last year, I had to leave him pretty high.
I respect it. I respect it. Number six, who you got?
This is the one I kind of changed like right before the episode. I kind of him and my number 5. I'm back and forth on.
Okay.
This is why I have Amin Thompson.
Okay.
I almost had him higher. He the reason I kind of had him this low is with KD being there. That kind of does take some more opportunity from him a little bit. Fred VanVleet's still there. He averaged 14 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 56% from the field. He only he shot 26% on 1-3 attempt.
Yeah.
So we know
It's
that's
not his
not what he's
game,
known
man.
for.
It's not his game.
We know that's not what he's known for. His defense really stood out last year. He finished 5th in Defensive Player of the Year voting. And he was all defense first team. I assume he's going to still finish top DPOY again this year and defense first or second team.
Yeah.
His defense was really the main reason I had him as high, and probably one of, if not the most athletic players in the league. We've seen the dunks, we've seen the highlights. It's just, can he take that offensive jump? Which 14 points is not bad. He shot, I want to say it was 8 or 9 the year before, points per game.
Yeah.
Around that, maybe 10, around that. With KD there, though, it still might open opportunities for him. I mean, KD is going to take some. It's KD. But he's also going to take, a lot of the attention will be on Kevin Durant, not him or Jalen Green or Dylan Brooks some nights. So, yeah, I really almost had him higher above the next guy. The next guy's kind of showed more and projecting the other guy, the next guy being in another improved situation than he was last year.
Yeah.
You have him higher?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and say I am ridiculously high on Amin Thompson. I am stupid.
I wanted him to move up. I wanted to move him a lot further up. It's just I want to see another year of it. But I really wanted to have him higher.
I think his ceiling is through the rafters. I think it's through like the stars.
If he can
ceiling
make
doesn't exist.
If he can make 3 or 4 threes a game, it might be over with. But yeah, I just wanted to see another year of it. I definitely, when I first started the list, I had him I think I had him 4. I just ended up kind of moving him down a little bit.
Yeah. Interesting.
I really am. I'm going to be high on him this year.
Yeah, I've got something with Amin Thompson. I really like him a lot. My number 6, though, this is where I will land with Denny going into next season. I have Denny Avdia here at number 6. Like you said, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 48 from the field, 37 from 3. But, and this is a stat that I will continue to mention with Denny Avdia whenever we bring up the Trailblazers. Second half of last season, post All-Star break, Denny Avdia was 23 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists per game. The only other 2 players in the league that averaged that in that time span were Jokic and Giannis. Denny Avdia was the only other player in that group.
Top 3 players second half of the year.
Yeah, I think that means something, though, because the Blazers were a winning team for the most part in that stretch. The second half of the season, the Blazers went 23-18. They had a little stretch in February where they won 10 of 11 games. I think that means something because Denny Avdia, like I said earlier, was the most consistent player on that team, and he was the catalyst of a lot of it. He showed a lot of improvement and growth last season on the ball as a creator. In pick and roll last year, he was one of the best pick and roll creators in the NBA last year, which I don't think should go under the radar. I could realistically see Denny Avdia running like 1 this year for the Blazers.
Yeah.
Maybe not in a starting lineup setting, but I think that there will be lineups this year that the Blazers run where Denny Avdia is the 1 because he is a solid playmaker and he is a really good downhill driver and finisher. If you don't know like much about Denny Avdia, just look up his downhill driving and finishing tape. He is one of the fastest downhill drivers in the league. I really am. His nickname is Turbo, by the way. He gets out in transition, runs 1,000,000 miles an hour, gets to the free throw line a ton. I think that's what's going to be like the big thing for Denny Avdia. That's why I have him so high on this list. He gets to the line. I think that he's going to average 23, 24 points this next season. I think that he will be the most improved player in the league. I think he will. I think he will win most improved. He will be the first option to begin the season in Portland. I don't know if he will be the entire year. I kind of think he probably will be, but he will be the first offensive option for the Blazers this upcoming season. And I think that means something because he is a really capable three-point shooter. He's a three-level scorer at this point, a really good rebounder at his size. And like I texted Jacob last night, he's a solid defender. He's a capable defender.
Yeah,
He's not a minus defender. Um, I love having him as a player on my team. I'm really glad he's on the Blazers. One of the best value contracts in the league, if that means anything to you. He makes like 11, $12 million a year over the next 3 years, which is
11, I think. Yeah,
a deal for the Trailblazers. I really like Denny Avdia as the primary initiator offensively on my team. I think it's going to help Shaden Sharp out a lot this upcoming season. And yeah, I'm really high on Denny Avdia going into this next season. And I think a lot of other people should be as well.
yeah. I asked you about the defense because I was back and forth on him and Jaden McDaniels. That's the reason I was asking you about the defense because the offensive stats were kind of similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, Denny definitely, if he does finish higher on this list, I wouldn't be surprised. He looked really good last year considering how he looked in Washington.
Yeah, I think there's significantly more for Denny to still tap into than Jaden McDaniels at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
Number 5.
I had Amon here at first, but I switched it. This is why Franz Wagner.
I have Franz at 5 too.
I was really close to putting Amon above him. It's just Franz. He averaged 24 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 30% from 3 on 6 attempts. So I mean, he's taking them, but he's that's always been the question mark with them is will he make them? And them getting Desmond Bane this year, I kind of think that'll take the weight off of him having to be one of, if not the top 2, 3 shooters on the team that has to shoot the 3.
Yeah.
Playmaking's there. Kind of know what he is. Plays like a big guard sometimes. Yeah, I just seeing him the 24 points on him able to do that on not shooting great from 3 is kind of the reason I kind of put him above Amon. I know you're going to be a lot higher on Amon. I don't say a lot higher, but higher on him. I just want to see it this year with Desmond Bane. With that weight on, he has another guy to kick out to from 3. I can't remember if Franz was one of the better like rim finishers last year.
He probably was.
I think he was. I think he was on the top 10 list, but
I think he
just
was,
him.
as you mentioned it.
Okay, him and Paulo kind of switching back and forth from first option, second option, which is Paulo most of the time. But Franz has the ability to be the first option. He could take that role over some night at some games. Kind of the reason I kind of had him at 5, and he could be higher, but got the old guy at pretty high, so
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah. It's been even like a point of contention on Twitter I've seen lately. Like, who is like the number one option for the Magic? Is it Paolo Banchero or is it Franz Wagner? And most people, of course, would say Paolo Banchero. I would too, and I assume you would too.
Yeah,
But yeah, the
yeah,
fact that it even is a question, it's kind of like the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown thing from a few years ago, where
right.
you know, either guy can be your 1A on a given night, and Franz Wagner has shown that despite being a poor three-point shooter, only shot 30% from 3 last season. And like you said, I think with Desmond Bane being there and being a volume efficient three-point shooter, I think it's
Mm,
going to help take that load off of him. I think it's going to allow more space for Franz Wagner to become a real threatening three-level scorer, which I feel like he has been like on the cusp of for a few
yep.
years. He's been really trying to become a volume three-point shooter and like a decent one, but the efficiency just hasn't caught up to it yet. And I don't know like if he ever will be an efficient three-point shooter, but I do think that having a presence like Desmond Bane in the backcourt with him is going to really help him. I think Franz Wagner is the primary playmaker still on that team. I think he has the potential
Yeah.
to become an even better playmaker this year. I think his assists could go up. A lot of what Franz is what I hope Denny becomes. That's a lot of my hope for Denny because Franz is a solid defender as well. He's a guy that I feel like still has another level that he can reach, um,
Mm,
especially offensively. And I really hope it happens for him because the Magic are going to be in prime position to contend this year. And I think a lot of it is going to depend on which version of Franz Wagner we get. So I have him at
yeah.
number 5 too this year.
Yeah. I almost had him higher, but like you said, kind of the 1A, 1B factor of it, or it could be a 1A either, any night. Um, I think he's the one I told you about the Eurobasket, where like his shot mechanic looks a lot better this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't mean he'll shoot more threes or anything, but hopefully he'll make more on less attempts or just be able to be a decent threat from 3-point range.
Yeah, I know I asked you about Eurobasket earlier, but I don't put a lot of stock into Eurobasket either because
Mm.
Simone Fontecchio dropped 39 points yesterday, and
Yeah,
I feel like I've never seen
barely
him
getting
drop
minutes.
20 points in the NBA, so we'll leave
Hey,
it at that.
Malachi Flynn at a 50-point game. You never know.
That is true. It could
Um,
happen any given night.
Never know.
Sadiq Bey.
That's true.
Yeah.
Number 4. This is why I have Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
Kind of the last push. I didn't want to have him too high like I did last year. Last year, that before kind of the decline and the whole Heat drama. This is probably, like I said, this is going to be the last year I have him on here. He This is going to be, like you said, probably the last push for Golden State. I know we talked about it with Curry 2 weeks ago about when will that cliff come? Like, will he ever slow down? Will he just be like this until he retires?
Yeah.
With Jimmy, it's kind of, what he's getting. He's not going to be able. He could probably still take over games like he has in the past,
I
especially in
think
the
so.
playoffs. But probably not to the extent of that year they went to the finals of him having to do it a lot with Curry being there. But like I said, it takes the attention off Curry. Him being there still brings a good perimeter defender. Um, I probably won't say like one of the best like he has been, but still a solid, for this point in his career. Just the last hurrah for him for me on this list. So hopefully he kind of lives up to it this year, but we know what he is. The count stats won't be there unless it's, playoffs, or even then just kind of see what his body does.
Yeah. A little off topic, but I do want to ask you since we're talking about Jimmy Butler and the Warriors. Do you seriously like do you think that they have a chance to contend? Like do you think that there is like a real chance of that? Because I don't. I don't think the Warriors are like even a realistic contender this next year.
Like championship contender.
Yes.
I know. Whenever we do the standing predictions, that'll be a long episode more than likely. Um, I don't think they can. I don't think they can be a championship contender. I don't.
Yeah.
I think they can compete in the West. Excuse me, but I
See,
don't think they're at that
I don't
level
think they
though. The teams
can.
above them.
I don't think they can.
You need one good series. You just need a good game. Like you need a good series from Steph. If Jimmy takes over like he can, if
That's
that
one
we
series though.
that we
That's
think
just
he can, that we think yeah. So Steph would have to do
they
it.
won one
It'd
series
be
last year.
yeah. The year that they 2022, the year that Golden State won it again. Did you think they were contenders that year,
Yes.
or was kind of you did? Okay,
Yeah.
so I think they can, but a lot would have to go right for them. Like no injuries, the defense would have to be there. See what Draymond does offensively, which we don't really expect a whole lot, but I think they can compete in the West. But I don't think they're like at the bottom level of me thinking that they can compete in the West. Like the teams that you say, oh, if they end up winning a series, maybe two, they're at that bottom tier of all right, they could, but I don't really expect them to. But they definitely could. But it had to be like a Steph masterclass. Jimmy would have to kind of take over games, but true contender, no.
Yeah. Like who scares you on that team past that? Like Draymond, even at his old age, is still a good defender. But
Yeah,
we see like the depth of these real contending teams now. We see the OKCs, we see the Pacers, we see the Rockets who are, projected to be in contention at this point. Even the Timberwolves have good
yeah,
bench depth. The Knicks have good depth. The Warriors don't have that like at all.
yeah, yeah. They especially with Kaminga still not signing his contract, we assume he will.
Yeah.
Um, Assume or at least a sign and trade, hopefully. I think Al Horford and D'Anthony Melton are going to be there. It's kind of they're waiting on the Kaminga contract, is what I've read and what I've seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, the depth is not there. It really never. It hadn't been for a while, ever since the Jordan Poole trade and all that drama they had. But true contention, I don't think they are.
Yeah. It's weird too that it's September 1st now that we're recording this, and none of these restricted guys have still signed yet.
Yeah,
Kuminga hasn't signed, Josh Giddey hasn't signed, Cam Thomas hasn't signed, Quentin Grimes hasn't signed. It's
yeah.
really weird.
I
It
think
hasn't been like this before.
I think when the first one signs, the rest will follow. I think
You
it's what
just
it
you just
seems
would have
like.
thought that it would have happened
It's
already.
what it seems like. So what I've seen, like I know we talk about it with Quentin Grimes with us. there's been talk of him taking the qualifying offer, which is like 8 million. And I don't think you really want that to happen. Like if you're Philly, because then it kind of harder to trade him because there's not really a player you'd want making 8 million, kind of.
Yeah, unless he's like really
And,
young on a rookie contract.
yeah, and same thing with like Giddy. I think Giddy they offered him 20 million a year, I think, and he wants 30.
Yeah.
Same thing with Grimes. I think we're offering him maybe 15, 17, 18, and he probably wants closer to 30, 25, 30. And really the same thing with all of them. We saw what Cam Thomas wanted, so we
Yeah.
talked about that. So I think it'll be a domino effect. When one goes, I think the other three will kind of fall behind.
Maybe. I don't even know at this point. This
Hope
is
so.
such
But see,
uncharted territory.
yeah, even they said with Grimes, like our reporters have said, it could be late September, early October in the season. First game, I think, is October 21st, 22nd.
Mhm.
So these guys could sign like right before the season.
That's so weird to think about. Anyways, back to the list. My number four. I couldn't go any higher than four with Ahmed. I really wanted to go higher, but I am gonna
Yeah,
put him here at four this year. I think his ceiling is
it's up there.
it
Yeah,
it there is no ceiling on Ahmed Thompson. If he like if there is any level of perimeter scoring, I don't even think that there has to be for him to be like an all NBA level player at this point. I don't think he
yeah,
has to do that. I think that he is such an anomaly in this league. There's no other player like him except for maybe his brother, but I don't even think
yeah.
his brother doesn't really play like him on the Pistons in
Mm-mm.
terms of like the way that he play
The
makes
offensively,
creates
yeah,
offensively, yeah. Um, but yeah. I
I
kind of
definitely should have had him higher.
I kind of wanted to put his brother as an honorable mention, by the way.
I wouldn't mind it. They're both really great on defense, but I know Amon has shown that playmaking flash, which I think there's been talk of him running the point guard next year, or when Fled when Fred's not on the court, him taking that responsibility a lot.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I should have had him higher, but we'll
Yeah.
see. Like I said, he could definitely finish top three on this list, really, if he hits kind of not like you said, no ceiling, but if he shows what we think of him, he could definitely be higher.
I just think that there are so many different directions that his career could go. Like even the player he is just right now, I think is a fantastic, amazing player to have on a winning team. But there's so many levels that I feel like he could still tap into in like every aspect of his game. Like I think that there is a realistic
Yeah,
possibility for him to average like close to a triple double at some point in his career. I think that he could
he
do
will.
that. I don't know like what the scoring like the biggest question, the biggest drawback I do have him with him is his scoring. Like I don't know if he will ever be more than like a 21, 22 point per game scorer. Even if he isn't, I
That's
think it's
fine. Yeah,
perfectly fine because he's a
yeah, that's
great
fine.
player regardless and he impacts winning in so many other ways. But if he gets to that level, like we're talking like top 10 player in the league, like in a couple of years, I think that that's a very
Yeah,
realistic possibility.
yeah, I think so too. Top 15 easy, 20 definitely, but like I said, it's just the offense with him. Really, the perimeter scoring because he's fine mid range and finishing. We've seen the athleticism. He's gonna be a player fun to watch this year. I'm pretty sure both of us will watch a lot of Houston this year,
Yes.
especially with KD being there. I know
Yes.
I did last year even without him being there. It'll be really fun to watch how he plays, especially off KD this year.
Yeah. And yeah, you mentioned like being unsure about, offensive production with Kevin Durant being there. I don't think it'll matter that much. I think because he got so much of his offensively with Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks there last year, who were like these inefficient shot chucking guys who we've talked about here over the last couple of weeks. Both of those guys fit that mold. I think having an efficient scorer like Kevin Durant will take so much more defensive attention away. I think it will allow
Yeah,
Amin Thompson to play more free and it'll allow him to have more space to operate, quite honestly, for that Houston Rockets team.
yeah, I agree. Like I said, I could have had him higher. It's just the guys above him. If Jimmy was lower, Almond would have ended up being 5, maybe 4.
Yeah,
I was so back and forth between him and Franz. It was heads or tails, really.
yeah. So we do have the same top three.
Yes, but I don't know about the order, but yeah,
I doubt we'll have the same order. At number three, I am guessing though that you probably have Kawhi Leonard at number three.
I do.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to put Amin over Kawhi. I just couldn't do it yet. Next
One more
year,
year.
yeah,
One more year.
one more year. He probably will be next year. But Kawhi was just so good last season, and it was really cool to see 22 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, was almost 50, 40, 90.
Mm,
Had that one really good playoff game against Denver. He was just kind of meh afterwards. Not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but he was just kind of meh after that one game. But to see Kawhi still be so efficient and effective at this stage of his career, I think is really cool. And I do think the Clippers have an opportunity to be really good next season with Kawhi still being like the number one guy technically on that team. I know that it can, be hard in some nights. I know that it can be, other guys at certain points. But I do think Kawhi Leonard, like in the playoffs, is going to get the
yeah.
most attention on that team still, because he is like the biggest playoff riser on that team. And I think that that shouldn't go unnoticed. A lot of the same things can
Mm,
be said with Jimmy Butler that we've said about Kawhi, but I do think Kawhi is just a little more consistent and a little more. I think he still has a little more to give at this stage of his career than Jimmy Butler does. I think he plays for a better team. I think that
yeah.
the opportunity is just better for Kawhi. The stars align better. He has a guy playing alongside him and James Harden who can set him up really well. So I really think
Yeah.
that Kawhi Leonard has a little more in the tank. I really hope so. I do think it's kind of like Jimmy Butler, though, where he will be probably lower on this list next year. But for the time being, I still have him at number 3.
Yeah, I do as well. I think the Clippers will be good this year. If he's healthy, James Harden's healthy. They added a couple guys free agency.
They got John Collins.
Um, yeah, they traded for John Collins. I think Bojan they got.
They had Boyan last year.
Oh, they did. Okay, who they was it? Luke Kennard they got? No, it was Atlanta.
He's in Atlanta. I
I think
forget. I don't get off the top of my
they got
head.
someone else, but Brooke Lopez, I think. That's who they
Brooke
got.
Lopez, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, next year I'll probably be down. Look, as long as the Clippers are terrible in 28 and 29, I'm fine. They can do whatever they want to this year.
There's a good
Um,
chance they could be.
yeah, we got the picks. That's all I care about. But yeah, this is probably the last year Kawhi's this high on the list, unless he just has an unreal playoff run. Regular season he played 37 games. If he plays, I want to say he played 60 the year before,
Yeah, it's
around
on.
that. If he plays 65, 70 games somehow this year and has a great playoff run, he could definitely be higher on the list again next year. Yeah, I couldn't put him any higher. I think I had him at 3 last year. We both did,
I think we both did,
or
yeah.
close did, or me. I think even Tanner did too. So yeah, this is kind of where I fell with Kawhi this year.
Yeah, I think it's a good spot for him still. I could very well see Amin or even like Franz Wagner and even Deni Avdija potentially having better years than Kawhi.
Mhm.
I think just like you asked the question, who would you rather have on your team in the playoffs? You'd rather have Kawhi Leonard at this point than those three other guys.
Yeah,
Yeah. Top two, it's going to come down between J-Dub, Jalen Williams, and Jaylen Brown. Those are our two guys.
yeah.
Jacob at number two. I have J-Dub at number 2, and I have Jaylen Brown at number 1.
I have Jaylen Brown 2 and Jalen Williams number 1.
I figured it would go this way.
Yeah.
Why is J-Dub your number 1 this year?
It could be recency bias, but the way he looked in the playoffs last year, with the way we talked about Shea on the point guard episode,
Mhm.
J Dub was even better than that some games. It felt like he took over some playoff games, some big moments. He was good. He was all defense second team last year, which Jaylen Brown is a great defender. We've seen that. He was coming off finals MVP the year before. It's not a shot at Jaylen Brown. It's just I think Jalen Williams can hit that next step. He averaged 21 or 22, 5 and 5, 48% from the field on 17 attempts. I just think he's going to take another step this year, and I think he'll build off. It could be that the what do they call it? The championship kind of shoot. They might not play that good off the championship. I forgot what the championship buzz, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Whatever you want to call it. So they could struggle coming out. I don't think so. I think they're going to be the number 1 seed more than likely again. They didn't lose anybody. He was a big part of why they were one of the top defensive last year. it just might be that playoff run. I just watched the way he took over games, the way the shot fell, the way he could drive to the rim, his defense. Like I said, it's not a shot at Jaylen Brown. I think I had Jalen at 2 last year. I
Yeah,
had Jimmy at 1 to be fair, but um,
crazy by the way.
hey, I
Going
believed
on
in
a
it.
Finals MVP.
I believed in it one more year. Oh, Finals MVP. I guess he's the best on the Celtics. That's another conversation.
Don't start this again.
Yeah, but no, yeah, Jalen ended up being my one. Just like I said, it's the playoffs. Now Jaylen Brown could do that this year. He could be the one. He's the one this year. If he
I think
leads them to a top 4, top 5, maybe it could change. It could definitely change my mind if he's playing as well as we think he will. But yeah, I just had J Dub. Just the jump. He's a couple years younger. I just had the jump for him this year. I think this is going to be the year he kind of. I know he's already submitted himself as like a top star, but he could kind of submit himself even greater, kind of that not superstar cusp, but like the top of the star list. I guess is an easier way to put it.
yeah.
He could be the Scotty to SGA, but not to that level. Maybe.
You don't think so?
I mean, he could not. I'm not saying SGA is going to be MJ level, but he could be that second player that kind of take over some nights. Great defender.
Yeah.
The way I think it was the way we talked about SGA on that episode about what he was doing, and like I said, some nights J Dub looked better. He kind of took over when SGA was struggling. So that's the kind of the reason I kind of had him at 1. Big J Dub guy now. I would kind of we didn't laugh, but kind of you had him a lot higher last
Yeah,
year.
last year you
I
guys
saw
had
the
him at
vision.
7. I had him at 4.
I saw the vision. I saw the vision this year. I got him at 1. So
I respect it though. I
yeah.
really do like J-Dub. He was third team All NBA last year, and like you said, there were some games in the playoffs and in the final series specifically where he
Mm-hmm.
was the guy. He was the guy
Yeah.
on the floor, and I think that's a really valuable thing to have. It's weird to think that he's only going into his 4th year.
Mm-hmm.
He's still very young in his career, and he's already been so successful, already shattered so many of the expectations that have been put on him. So yeah, I do think that he has another level to tap into. I don't know like how that manifests though, being on such a good team and having so many other good options around him. I don't think like it's a like statistical jump. Like I don't think he comes out and averages like 26, 27 points or anything like that. But I do think
I think I got him at 25.
really,
Yeah.
wow, okay.
I don't know if the opportunity will be there with if they're playing like they did last year. Will he be in that? I don't know how many minutes he averaged, but will he be in that much? Maybe not. But
Yeah.
I think he can definitely average close to 25.
Hmm.
I
See, I
think
think he'll average about the same. I think he'll be around like the
about 21,
22,
22.
yeah, 23 point per game mark last year. But I think that'll be great because he's already super efficient and he's exactly what they need. Like I said it last
Yeah.
year, he's the perfect number 2 guy to have on your team. And
Mm.
the same sentiment remains. Like you said, you don't know if he can be SGA's Pippen to the SGA's Jordan. I think Jalen Williams has the
He
potential to be
could.
good.
I didn't want to go overboard with the comparison, but like he could be that level of second guy to the top guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think he can be. I think that he's capable of that. I think even like despite the defensive accolades that he's received at this point, I think he's still an underrated defender because he
Mm.
can switch on to bigs. He can guard small guys really, really well. He's
Yeah.
really athletic, like super athletic, which I think goes under the radar a lot. His mid-range game is super elite. I'm really excited to see the trajectory of his career. He got paid this offseason. Shout out to him for getting paid. So yeah, we'll see what's next for J-Dub. I do have it at number 2 though, because I do think Jaylen Brown as the number 1 option on the Celtics next year is gonna like he has to have a good year. Like he absolutely
What do you
has to have a good
What
year.
do you So okay, he has to have a good year. What if he doesn't? What does that mean for you? Like, what if he's not efficient? What if he averaged 22 points last year? So you think he'll average about 25 this year, close to it? He'll
I
have
think
to.
he'll average like 27, 28.
So if he doesn't do that, does that change anything for you with Jaylen Brown? Like, I don't want to say team wise because I doubt they'll trade him. I know he's been in rumors before.
Yeah.
But they really didn't. I know we'll talk about it later on, but like the Celtics really didn't do enough to show that they wanted to compete.
No,
Like
not
I
at
think
all.
they're not gonna tank like how Philly did, which I know we had the injuries,
Yeah.
but I don't think they're a purposely tank. But if they get like a top 5, top 3 pick, I think they'll be completely happy. That's why I was like, I don't really know if he'll get like you're playing too good. Let's say your knees hurts tonight. Lose this game against uh
Chicago.
yeah, Chicago, Atlanta, somebody like that. So yeah, I can see it. I just don't know because we haven't really seen him as a number one. I mean, he's like we talked about earlier with Franz and Paulo, the 1A, 1B conversation,
Hmm.
which I know he's not much of it's more of a 1A, almost 2 now with him,
Yeah.
which, deservingly so. But him being the number one for the full year and as Derek White is the 2, I just don't know. Which he can score on anybody, which we've seen. Is just can he be consistent all year to average, like you said, 27, 28 points?
Yeah. This is just my opinion going into the year, but I think that even despite the Celtics not doing much to like show that they want to win games this offseason, I think they
Mm,
still will. And I think a large part of it will be Jaylen Brown. And I think another part of it will just be the system. I think the system is so good that it won't really matter as much who they have on the floor. I just think
yeah,
the system is so good at this point. Now, that's not me saying I think the Celtics are still a contender to go to like the NBA Finals. I don't think that, but I do
yeah.
think the Celtics will be a top six seed in the Eastern Conference still. I do. I think they will. And I think
I
Jaylen Brown
don't
will be a large part of that.
I don't know if I'm there yet, but they're definitely going to shoot a lot of threes, which they have been the last few years. But it might even seem like more this year, which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy to say the way we've seen them the last few years.
Yeah. I believe in Jaylen Brown. I believe that like you asked about like the questions that will arise. Questions will arise if he
Mm,
does well. If he does well. Like if was Jason Tatum really the 1A this entire time? It's really neck and neck. And I think
yeah,
that's a great dilemma for the Celtics to have at this point because you have paid
he's
Jaylen Brown at this point. You have paid Jason Tatum. It's not like a deal of that anymore. I think
yeah.
that, that's what they hope happens at this point. But I think it could go the
If
other way where Jaylen Brown underperforms and it's like,
mm,
oh, was he like really realistically in these conversations to begin with? Did we
yeah,
overrate Jaylen Brown? And I think we're going to see a lot this year if Jaylen
I
Brown was
think
overrated, underrated, or properly rated.
yeah, I think either way, if he does perform well, there's going to be teams wanting to go get him. Like this is what it looks like as the number one option. Let's go get him, see what he does for us. If Boston is willing to trade him, which
That is
it's
a
been
lot.
rumors
That's a
before.
lot of money to take on
It
too.
is. It is. Or, could go the other way. A team is close or, like a Chicago, a middle of the pack team, kind of like, hey, he had a down year. It might not cost that much to go get him, but you got to pay that money. So, yeah, I can see it going either way. I think it's more of the him being solid and not, well, more than solid, more of the top player, kind of the 20, more the 27, 28 than he is the 22, 23 type guy.
This is funny that I'm drawing this parallel, but the Jaylen Brown versus Jalen Williams is very much like the second option version of our Ant versus Booker debates. It feels like where
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown is Booker and Jalen Williams is Ant. So we could very well see Jalen
Hey,
Williams
might start
overtake
it.
Jaylen Brown,
That
but
might be an agenda this year. We push.
maybe so. That's a funny parallel to draw. But yeah, my biggest question is just how good is first option Jaylen Brown? Like how good can he really be?
Yeah.
I believe that he can be good. I think he'll be an all-star. I think he'll be all NBA, probably second or third team. But
Yeah.
we'll see just how good. We'll see.
Yeah, if they're like you said a top six, like if they're top four, top five, he'll probably be first team, or I don't want to say probably second team. Um, but if not, I can definitely see like a third team.
Yeah, for sure.
I haven't got to that point. Like I said, the standings, like I might start on them early. I might start on them while we're still doing the position rankings.
Might have to.
It's going to be a lot of thinking we're going to have to do. I assume both conferences look a lot different for us.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited to see where we both kind of end up having Boston.
Yeah, it is interesting to note too, like a couple of weeks before the season in the last 2 years, there's been a big trade. 2 years ago, it was the Dame
Last two
trade.
years,
Yeah,
yeah, last
last
two
year it
years.
was the Timberwolves Knicks trade. So
Has it been the last 3 years? Was it the Donovan Mitchell trade before that? Or there was a gap here?
was that a trade?
Yeah, it was the Rudy trade. No, it wasn't the Rudy trade. It was
Was that a trade?
Laurie Laurie Markin. Was it the Laurie trade?
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense.
I don't know if it was 3 years ago or was it.
I don't
Yeah, I
remember
know it
like
was a trade.
when that happened.
That's what I'm
It
saying. I
went-
don't know if it was 3 or 4 years ago. I know it
yeah.
was a trade. I know for sure it was a trade.
I don't
But
remember like how close to the season that happened.
That might have. It was in August
Hmm.
because I remember. I think I called you when I was picking my niece up from school. I called you like there's no way he's not answering because I'm
Interesting.
pretty sure that was. I don't know. I'll look into
I
it. I know
do
the last
remember
2 years.
now. I do remember
I
that now.
know. I know it was
Yeah.
around school, like around August.
I was in class. Yeah, I was in class when that
That
happened.
might be
So
why.
yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah, so like very
So it was the
realistically on the
last 2 or 3
horizon.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, there could be still movement to be made, and I think that's what makes so much of this so tough to predict still. We don't know like what final rosters
Yeah.
will look like at this point, so don't take our word as law because things could change. Don't do that anyway, just because we have been wrong
I
so
hope.
many times and continue to be wrong. So
Yeah. I hope. I hope somebody falls in love with Paul George this offseason.
hey, he's got to show something for people to fall
Yeah.
in love with him.
Oh man, this is bad.
Paul George, he was, yeah, he could have been on this. No, I think he's on power forwards. He could be on
No,
your next
his
list.
power forward.
We
I don't
shall
know.
see next
We'll see.
week.
We'll see.
We
He's
shall
busy
see.
in Paris at a fashion show with a knee brace on.
Jeremy Grant is probably there as well. So
Hey, we
we
can
both
trade them 1-for-1
we both
trade.
1 for 1. You want to do it? Money probably matches.
More than likely.
Yeah. We'll wrap this
Yeah, it was
episode.
a fun list. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a fun one to do. I really enjoyed this one. Next week should be fun as well. Thank you all for tuning in as always. Jacob, you got anything to say before we close?
That's it. Getting closer. Football season starts. Means basketball is not far behind.
Yes, sir. These, like I said, whenever we started doing these lists, these 5 weeks that we do them seem to fly by, and we're like right at the preseason almost already. We're right at standings predictions, and it's one of the best times of the year. So thank
Yep.
y'all. I hope y'all are enjoying this with us, and yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Yep.